Gay guys talk about Grindr. I'm like, that sounds so fun. I wish there was a safe version for that for straight women.
I'm 6'5", so it's like people are like, "Aren't you scared?" I go like, "No, I'm still a man. I would like love to see him try to kill me." You know what I mean? Like I could fight him off.
Kidnap?
He's like dragging me. I go, "Oh, I guess someone's skinny."
Guys, we are here with stand-up comedian and guys, super fan, frankly, said the best thing to me we've ever heard out of any guest or fan. So maybe step up your game. Dylan Carlino,
Hi.
welcome to the show.
Thank you for having
Carlino,
me.
what's it like having your dream come true? This is your make-a-wish, but you're living.
With no diseases.
I know, it's incredible. Sometimes I'm like, these other fuckers wish they could get on the show. These fuckers wish.
Well, I mean, based off the bullet points you gave Corinne to share them with me, I mean, you qualify.
I think so too.
You got some stories.
I mean, I'm a huge whore.
Love it.
Yeah.
We're getting right into it.
Yeah. Well, what else? I mean, what are we doing here? I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
So you're a huge well, before we get into that, I just want first of all, you said you've been listening to the show for 10 years.
Every single Friday.
You're really qualified. I asked you when you walked in if you had heard this week's Luminary episode yet, and you looked at me like I had 4 heads. I guess that was the dumbest bitch question to ask.
Literally for like years, every single Friday, the first thing I did was like roll over and check to see who the guest was, and it depended if I was listening to it immediately or later after work, but it was always listened to on Fridays.
Can you give an example of someone who you said I'm going to press the snooze button?
Yes, please.
I remember, I can't do that, but I remember being like, for a long time, being like, where is Lisa Traeger? Like, we never on for so long.
Oh, I love Lisa.
Haven't we had her on multiple
Twice
times?
Now, but beforehand, I was like, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think the first
She's so
and also it's such an interesting choice for you to be like, where is the Lisa Traeger episode?
So
that's
niche.
also like if we didn't know you were gay.
I know. I'm gay, guys. Well, also, when I started comedy, I had like a sick obsession with the New York comedy scene. So like anybody who started a podcast between the like 2014 and 2019, I have listened to that podcast. Like I've listened to podcasts that had like 4 episodes in the New York scene that are now over, and it's insane. So I just know everybody because of all these. Now when I have people on my podcast, I sound like a psycho because I know so much about them.
Right.
That they're like, how do you know this? Like Ian Finance is like, what is wrong with you? I was like, you share too much on podcasts.
I was also like, Ian Finance shouldn't ask anyone what's wrong with them.
No, that's an oxymoron
Love
thing.
you, Ian.
Yeah, so I've been listening every year. I mean, I moved across the country where I had like no friends, and then I moved again back to Austin, no friends, and it was like, not to be like too sentimental, but like having you guys every Friday, it was like, oh, I had some routine and some friends with me because I had you guys every single time. And I've always like talked about sex very openly, and I think in my small town nobody else did. So it was like nice to be like, oh, I'm not crazy. Some people are like nasty sluts just like me.
Yeah, and I'm so glad you found that in us.
I said, finally, girls that like to get railed.
Oh my God, more than anything. It's the best. It's the best.
Okay, so your small town, Massachusetts small town?
Yeah, I'm from the Berkshires, so.
Right.
Yep.
Oh, beautiful.
Yep, incredible. Lee, Massachusetts. This is a girl from Lee. Yeah, and I lived there till I was like 23, and then I started doing comedy at 21, and then was like, I gotta get out of here. And I was like, you know what? I'll move to Portland, where I didn't know anybody. Portland, Oregon. I was like, because I heard there's gay people there, and then I got there, all lesbians.
There's a lot of lesbians.
Yeah, real nightmare situation.
So wait, the only information that you had on Portland was like
Gay
there was
people.
a comedy existed and gay existed, and then you went?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got in the car and I drove there, and I was like,
girls, God
it's so
damn it.
far from Massachusetts.
I had a lot of issues being like, I gotta get away from my family.
Right.
But like
opposite
it's
coast.
just an interesting choice when you have New York, you have Chicago, you have LA, and you go, no, Portland. It's just like a weird.
I don't know what drew me there. I was like, I think like New York to me, since the Berkshires was only like 2.5 hours away, I was nervous because I would watch kids from my high school leave my small town and then come back every single weekend because they had no friends, and then just end up at the bar, and then because my small town is like something where like people get trapped there for their whole lives, and like you don't leave, you know what I mean? Like, and so I was really nervous that if I left, I have still such good friends from high school that I'm still friends with.
That's nice.
I was nervous that if I moved here, I would go right back every single weekend. You know? So I was like, I have to go so far away, and I have no money that like I can't even afford a plane ticket to go back home. I need to I do everything the hard way.
You put guardrails up for yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Everything has to be the hard way with me.
And at this
Me
point,
too.
are you still 400 pounds?
Oh yeah, so I used to be 400 pounds.
That's insane.
I know.
How was that?
But you're really, really tall. So like, can I ask a girl how much you can like give me in like the
I don't know how much boys
in the
weigh.
realm. Well, so how tall are you? 6 what?
I'm 6'5".
Okay, so
That's really tall.
My
I
dad
know.
was 6'6", very, very thin though. So, and I would like kind of like 190, which I know was like pretty low to like early
Dream
200s. Yeah. So that's so how much weight have you lost?
Like 200 pounds.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's an incredible amount.
Yeah, it really is. Still not happy.
Yeah, that's the thing. You got happiness comes from within. It's so
No, it
dumb.
doesn't. I think it's just the loose skin. Once I get that taken care of, I think
Okay.
I'll finally be happy. But
Yeah.
It's so funny that you say that, and I love that you say that because a lot of people are like, just like learn to accept yourself at a different weight. And I go,
Work
no.
harder.
And then I finally figured out what was wrong with me and like the insulin resistance and everything. And I lost weight. And I go, yeah, that was exactly what was making me unhappy.
sometimes I talk about
feel 100% better.
you feel better, and guess what?
Feel better, you look better, you love what you see in the mirror.
People are so much nicer to you.
That's why I never get on anybody that has plastic surgery because I'm like, you're just cheating in the video game as you should.
It's not even cheating. It's
you
like
get free things.
Yeah.
Oh,
You get
next contract,
kindness.
everything's redone.
Oh, I'm gonna look like
Yeah.
Bella Hadid?
I'm gonna look like Joan Rivers by the end of the year. Okay? Are you joking with these brand deals coming in?
Oh yeah.
over.
Whatever Kris
I'm gonna
Jenner
look
got.
like Angela Poe.
Whatever. It's gonna look like a man is like grabbing me by the back of the hair at all times.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But you know what? It's like I sometimes I talk about it on stage, and I've just like now my audience is like all women.
Yeah.
And when you talk about like hating your body, woo, do they take it personally?
Yes.
Corinne's trying to make bits work about her how she feels about her own body, and they're like, no.
Well, that's how I initially became friends with Ari Shafir. Was I like posted this big, I love a Facebook manifesto or whatever, Instagram. You're younger, but about how I wasn't doing this comedy festival because they wouldn't let me talk about my own body. And
What festival?
This is the women's only festival.
No, it was something in New York. It was like some magazine, like bitch cunt magazine or something.
Yeah. That's what they're called, bitch cunt. The magazine where women are bitches and cunts. We also respect them.
It was literally like that. Well, and the woman running it she was like, she wrote me an email and she was like, off the record, I agree that like that body positivity doesn't make sense, and like something like that was like basically openly fat phobic. And I was like, I didn't even say that.
100%. And also it's like great. If you guys, by the way, I'm going to make this clear right now. If you ever see me fat again, I'm not happy.
Okay.
I've gone back into food addiction, and I want you to burn me alive in my house. Like Gilbert Grape's mom. Like I want to be dead. Okay.
Gilbert Grape's mom.
I know.
She was big.
Yeah, she was.
She
by the
was
way,
fucking big.
I say on stage sometimes when because it's all these girls, when I start talking about the body stuff, they get so sad. I go, sorry, quick question. Anybody here know what it's like to get fucked at 400 pounds? Oh yeah, me either. So let's lighten up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Shut the fuck
Let's maybe calm down a little bit.
Oh my God. Well, that's comedy. And I mean, you just, in what, like 6 months experienced a drastic jump into fame. Like, I mean, you went from
It's crazy.
40,000 followers to like 625,000 followers. Like something crazy. What was the time span there?
January. It's 6 months.
So 6 months.
6 months. I've gained 600,000 followers on Instagram, and I'm at 1.2 million on TikTok.
Oh my God.
No, it's
for
crazy.
you.
No, it's crazy.
Good for you.
I love this. Is one of my favorite parts of the entertainment is watching shit like this, like because
it's truly democratic.
It's just like wow.
Yeah. Well, and I feel so lucky too that I had not to get too much into comedy and the entertainment business, but I had this whole clique happen to me end of last year where I was like, some of my favorite comedians in the world are horrific at social media, and the path of how they got to where they are is no longer available to us coming comics. It's closed off. You cannot get through that way.
You can't do the Nikki Glaser way of doing the road since you were 19 years old.
No, and it's not an option.
And Eliza Schlesinger, so many, Ryan Reed, all of them.
It's over, and Instagram even upcoming comics, they're posting clips of their stand-up burning material, and it's not even going viral.
That's why I hate clips.
It's the worst. And so I go, I'm done doing I'm done doing Instagram like a comedian. I'm doing it like an influencer. We all get pissed at these influencers who blow up and then they go, you know what, I'm going to do comedy now. Why not we
sell out of
steal what
Yuck
they
Yucks weekend,
do?
so it's
and then it's like, okay, now I've been doing comedy for 10 years.
Right.
I have over an hour's worth of material. You're going to have a great show, and then they're going to come back. And so it's been a literal dream come true and very surreal.
Oh my God, teach me your ways. Because I need to like social media again. And I feel like it just the authenticity. But I was paging through your stuff and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, this 2-camera train, you're very funny, obviously. And your train of thoughts are hilarious. So it's just snippets.
It's honestly just because I do the If I Was a Girl stuff online, and it just came from that bit I've been doing to my friends in conversation for 10 years. And they always loved it. So I was like, well, why don't I just try what my friends like, and I'll do it on Instagram, and it fucking blew up, and now I'm on tour. I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
I've never felt so insecure in New York because I have bad clothes, but also famous because I get approached 20 times a day here, and I'm like, this is insane.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but it's crazy.
Well, and by
the way, I do want to say, I've been listening to guys we fucked for 10 years, known Corinne for about 2, waited until I got famous to ask to do the show.
You really know us.
I waited.
You really know us.
I basically said that I offered this to you before.
Yeah.
Maybe 1 or 2, when the first time after I saw you perform, and I was just like, you're really funny, genuinely, because I was trying to trace back how I met you. It was through Jamie Kilstein, I believe.
It was. He
messaged me and he was like, you got a super fan here in Texas.
Yeah, well, he was
a terrible way to start a message.
Well, by the way, every person I meet who's been on the show, I go, great episode, and guys. I know everybody's stuff, and they're like, oh, thanks.
Yeah, awesome.
I know everybody. But yeah, Jamie was like, Corinne's one of my best friends. And I kind of thought, I was like, I've never heard her talk about you, so I don't think that's true.
And I've heard every word she said for a decade.
Yeah, and so, but yeah, he linked us up and let me host. I know you normally don't have hosts or whatever, so it was such an honor.
Well, I don't allow men on the stage. The actual.
Yeah.
No men allowed.
In the vein of guys we fucked, I now have, I'm on tour telling every club, I was like, I'm gonna need a female feature.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not gonna talk about women online and then not give them opportunities. Also, women are my favorite comics. So yeah, I don't need.
I was gonna say, can we have a list of comedians you love who are doing terribly on social media and don't know how to navigate the space?
I could give you a list. There's so many people I want to sit down with and be like, let's change. Let's change what you're doing.
Yeah.
Well, I have one of my favorite comedians is Janine Garofalo. She has no presence.
Oh my God, what an incredible episode here.
But she's her episode here was insanely
when she
good.
cried.
That's when it was in my apartment. Yeah.
She's so talented.
I love her.
Every time I get to have the opportunity to do a show with her, because she does Eastville a lot.
Yes, with her notebook.
I get tingles.
Yes, me too.
Yeah.
And she's always like...
her album's incredible. It came out a couple years ago.
I mean, her HBO half hour to me is because everyone tries to compare you to someone when you're doing comedy, and people would always be like, "Oh, you're doing Sarah Silverman." And I go, "I'm not doing Sarah Silverman. I'm just a Jewish girl with brown hair. I'm completely different." And then I was like, "Who the fuck am I doing?" For a long time, I didn't even know who I was doing, and then I watched the Janine Garofalo HBO half hour, and I was like, "That's who I'm doing."
100%.
Who are you doing?
I think for years I was doing Nikki Glaser, and now I feel like I'm just myself on stage. In a weird way. But no, my first 5 years of me doing comedy, I was fully doing a Nikki Glaser. Yeah. I love Nikki so much, and for sure. Or who else? I'm trying to think. You know who I'm doing?
Who?
Bonnie McFarlane.
I love
Bonnie McFarlane's my favorite comic.
Yeah,
Bonnie
and
so funny.
Amy has kind of a similar delivery to Bonnie of just throw it away.
Bonnie
just
also
throw
has
away the punchline like a fucking G.
Yep. Bonnie also does very earnest premise, switched punchline.
Yeah.
And that's how I write all of my jokes. One time I played her album for my friends and they're like, oh, you write jokes like her. For sure.
I love her right turns.
Yeah, she's my favorite comic.
She's an excellent writer.
One of the best writers ever.
And a donor to Corinne Fisher for mayor. Thank you, Bonnie.
Yes. Didn't even question it.
Hey, who else was?
Dylan Carlino was a big donor.
Can we talk about when you were 400 pounds?
Yeah, of course. I love talking
That's
about
so interesting.
I was going to ask you who you were doing, but let's just ask. Maybe if you don't know off the top.
Gilda Radner in a way.
Right.
She doesn't really stand up, but
right.
Yeah. Quirky.
Quirky.
Just weird. Yeah.
Being 400 pounds is I would say one of the worst experiences of my life. Genuinely, because I just I didn't even realize how big I was getting. You almost get a body dysmorphia when you get that big. I was I remember at one time I was like, once I got that big, I remember like one day fully actually seeing it. I was also like severely depressed. And, my sister died when I was 13.
Oh,
so,
fuck.
Yeah. So I think that like, I had like stuff at home that was an issue, and then like being gay in a small town, I think like it was a way to like keep people away from me, because it was like you can't get hurt if you like blow yourself up. There's no option of dating when you're I'm sure for some of you guys, you're 400 pounds, you date, but like
we've heard a lot of women who are sexually assaulted and they say like, I just wanted my body to be as big as possible so that somebody, and I'm like, that makes sense.
It's like hoarding, but inside your own person. Like a lot of times you will see hoarders who are overweight as well, and like kind of doing both, but people go like, I don't understand how you could let your house get to that state. And it's like, it's a
little bit every day.
Yeah.
I also
brick by brick.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. I was also like using food as a numbing component. Like I like, didn't want to feel my feelings.
The most common number.
Yeah. And I would just shove. I would like eat like it was like crazy. And I was like, I'm sober now, but I was like also drinking every single day. I was like very, very depressed. And then one day I remember being like, I looked in the mirror and it was like I finally saw myself and how big I had gotten, and I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe I did this to my life. And I remember, I wish I had the video. I took a video of myself being like, you are going to change, and like, you are never going to do this again, because like, you are not happy. And like, for starting from today, we are gonna like change who we are and like work on this. And I had a friend who actually is my roommate now, out in Austin, and she was living in Massachusetts as well. And she was like, would you come to CrossFit with me? And I was like, sure. And so I went. Everything has to be the hard way. So it's like I started at 400 pounds in CrossFit.
CrossFit is tough.
That's incredible. And then and also like really cool of you to show up at 400 pounds, because that must
it was humiliating.
All eyes are on you when you're 400
I was gonna
pounds.
ask,
everyone can say whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask if you noticed how you were treated different at 400 versus 200 pounds. I imagine it's a huge difference.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's like insane. Like it's men, by the way. It's women are fine at both sizes. I mean, other than like really mean girls, but like it's and you bitches
Huge
are out there.
cunts.
And you bitches are out there.
Yeah.
But it's mostly men and how they treat you. You're like basically like they're like humiliated for you. They're like they almost like they hate you for it.
Now, is this just gay men or gay men and straight men?
Well, I would say straight men as well.
I feel like women do that to other women that are big. I would think. I would think.
Sure. I think it's like afraid that it could happen to you. So if people take it, you know what I mean? Like if it happened to you, it could happen to me.
So you're the walking example of what they don't want for themselves. That's always fun.
I almost feel like though, and I was thinking about this earlier because I knew we were going to talk about it, that like I don't have a ton of memories from those couple of years when I was that big. And I think it's because I was numbing so hard that I was like not in my body.
Yeah.
I have a lot of memories of like starting to lose the weight. But I lost about 100 pounds before I moved to Portland, and then I continued it. And then I like gained 100 pounds back. And then, because I was like drinking every single day. And then I like did it again. And I was like, all right, we're moving to Austin. We're getting it fucking together. And like, boom. Yeah. And now we're back.
That's great.
Now we're back. The whole body's loose skin. It's incredible.
Fuck yeah.
That's what they don't tell you about like, now that I have a little extra money from getting a little famous, okay, once I, whatever, I have to figure out a doctor and stuff like that. But like, I absolutely will get that done. But that's what they don't tell you, because you're like, yeah, great, you lost all this weight. And then you're like, great, so now I look good in shirts. But when I take my shirt off, it's like, I would say like 9 out of 10 guys on Grindr block me. And so you're like, yeah.
When you take your shirt off?
Like when I send them a shirtless pic.
Oh. So you do it in advance so that you don't have that thing in person?
I like almost like refuse to date or meet people in person. Like I guess like it would be better if I met someone like at a pool. You know what I mean? But like the fear of like taking my shirt off after them thinking maybe I have a normal body is like so scary to me that like, and
men are like, with physical stuff, like men are visual creatures, straight or gay, they are very brutal.
Yeah.
Like
gay men, in my opinion,
Corinne's always said to me, gay men are like the most brutal group. Like there's a chunk of gay men. Yeah. And I'm like, really? And then like just over the years, she's showed me examples. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, it's not.
Oh my God.
It's not great. But so that's why I kind of feel more comfortable on Grindr, because it's like, if you're into this, you're getting a shirtless pic. And like, if you're into that, then great. I'm so confident in that. But like, it's funny. I was out in Denver, and we had all these gay guys after our show. Do you guys know Jared Goldstein?
I know the name.
He's a comic. He's great. And he was out there and he's gay. And afterwards he was like, these guys were like basically trying to like hang out with me after the show. And I was like, oh, we can't. We have comedy stuff. I lied, you know?
Yeah.
And he was like, what's wrong with you? Like, they wanted to have sex with you. And I was like, they haven't seen me with my shirt off. Like, they're not gonna like it. And he was like, he did give me great advice where he was like, okay, well, like, if you start hooking up with them and you take your shirt off and they're like, I'm actually not into this, like, you'll live. He's like, but you need to start doing this.
Well, and also too, when somebody does that, when they judge you for anything,
surgery and then
I know that's what I'm doing. I know.
I mean, and that's what you will do.
Like, the thing is, it's like, you know, especially for people like you, like if you are brave in a lot of other areas of your life, you don't like. We don't need to make it into a brave contest. Like, I just like I don't.
Yes, we do.
I kind of disagree. Like, I don't even think like you don't like why put your like some things like why put yourself in that position.
I actually agree with you, and I was just trying to do the brave contest thing.
It's fun to try to do the brave contest.
Well, you know, I think also mine's like very specific because, you know, I have like gynecomastia. So like, so it's like man boobs.
Okay.
And they came when I was during puberty. And then when I gained all this weight, they got like really exasperated.
Yeah.
Right.
And so now it's like, that's basically the biggest issue for me and every guy that sees me shirtless. And so I also joke that I'm like half trans because like I literally have never had a normal guy chest. And it's like the thing that like kills me the most. Because I'm like, it's funny because I talk about girls so much online that people accuse me of being trans. And I'm always like, it annoys me because I'm like, one, you just don't know who you are as a person. So you're like projecting that onto me.
Yeah.
And two, I know I'm not trans because I have tits and I fucking hate them. And I'm like gonna kill myself because
Happy Pride.
I basically am trans because I want to kill myself because of my chest. Okay, suicide rate really does go up for us girls.
Yeah.
Okay,
It does.
Oh my God. So like when you say people block you on Grindr, do they just see the picture, block you? Do they say something usually?
Oh no, I actually don't mind the blocking. I appreciate it because it's like then you can never talk to them again. But it's almost worse for them to be like, I'm really not into this or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, you'll send a picture and then like they're in the chat and then all of a sudden the chat just disappears and you go, it's brutal out there, you know? And so it's like, it just is what it is. And I'm not like, honestly,
Grindr sex is very transactional in a way though. In
Oh
terms
my
of
God.
like, it's just, you're there to get to come.
100%.
Right? There's really no other goal.
No, and sometimes it's like not even to come. It's just like I'm just trying to suck someone's cock. But it's like with my shirt on. But
that's like being your horniest you could possibly get with each other is the goal.
And it's like male horniness, which is like an extra level of like psychosis.
It's so I love it though.
Yeah, I've been joking on stage that like women because I don't think I got in a lot of trouble because I did not a lot of trouble, but I did subway takes and I said something like. I think I said like love is for women and sex is for men, and because
why'd you get in trouble?
Because everyone was like, "You misogynistic fuck." But what I was talking about was like how society.
So did he say I 100% disagree?
He said he 100% agreed.
Oh,
and then
they blamed you for it.
And then when it started blowing up, he goes, "I'm actually going to take it back." My manager's going to kill me because he represents him too, but. He's not gonna listen to this. And he took it back in the comments because everybody was giving him shit for having me on. But what I was trying to say was, and I really believe this, I don't care. I'm like, it's
fine. Misinterpret me.
Yeah,
Fuck off.
Of course, I don't care.
No, it disappoints me in general when people can't like stand in their truth even when they're getting pushback.
Yeah,
that's lame. Especially like I'm really familiar with him. He's really politically involved. Like just stand in what you said.
I think he was nervous. I get it too because I think it was like Subway Takes was really kind of blowing. It's huge. And so
I actually had to ask YouTube to please stop recommending it. I was like, I'm familiar.
Yeah.
I know. And so whatever. But what I was trying to talk about was, number one, what I was going to say was men aren't allowed to be bi, but then a straight guy who I know did it, like literally that came out the day I was going to do it. And I was like, don't talk about shit unless you're bi.
Right.
But it's so annoying. Every straight comedian coming up, that's the thing. People are like getting mad at me for doing like, face fronting videos as a comic. But it's like every straight comic is like, am I gay? Just trying to get gay men to come to their live shows. I'm like, you guys are literally fucking losers. Eric.
Just being honest. Just being honest.
Eric's like, am I bi? I'm like, okay, wake up.
Fucking wish.
Eric, all of a sudden, he's the shirt off comic. He's Burt Kreischer, but he has abs, and you go like that's not funny.
No, it's not funny. But gay men will come to your shows.
Yeah.
But I was trying to say that I believe that we all like sex the same amount, but men and women are just horny in different ways.
Okay.
I just don't think our horniness are the same. Like, because
No.
like when I think women are, I do this on stage, but it's like women have a beautiful horniness because you guys get to be super horny, but you still like have your humanity. But men, we like don't, like when I'm horny, I like don't care about anything other than and then being like, I bet I could get someone over here to suck my cock. And I don't care who it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, every man I know, like especially like when puberty hit, they seem to be very alarmed by how much sex overtook their brain and like can't concentrate in school, and they like thought it was something wrong with them, and it's like, yeah, you're just really horny.
Yeah,
you're just really horny.
Now that I work out all the time, it's like even worse. I'm like, oh my God, it's like
but
psychotic.
I'm always horny all the time, but like it makes me in such a good mood. Does it make you in a good mood or no?
No, I'm kind of like, I feel distracted.
Okay, I think the difference
very
between
distracting.
a man's horniness and a woman's horniness that just dawned on me now is I'm not trying to do anything about my horniness. Men are trying to get off.
Yeah.
I just love walking around horny. I'm not trying to take it anywhere. I'm not trying to come. I'm not trying to like.
Is that horniness or is that you like, you feel sexy and you like to walk around feeling sexy?
It's a combination of both, but like I literally feel like I'm ready to go get laid. Like I'm just vibrating and all
I'm
of it.
like, I need to find someone to get laid right now.
Yeah, right.
Like putting off work. But I'm an addict in like every sentence of the word. So it's like if it's not drugs and alcohol, it's food. If it's not food, it's sex.
Dick. Yeah,
or working out or whatever it is. Like I can make anything into a problem.
Yeah. It's kind of fun.
It's not fun. It's like, I'm like, God damn it. I wish I could just be like normal sometimes.
Well, you guys seem like you reined it in pretty well in terms of like discipline for yourself.
Well, that's the thing. I lost all this weight and then I got a studio apartment in Austin and I started calling it the Suck Shack because I became a sex addict. And I just like would hook up with people like nonstop.
We have Grindr, and look, if there was an app where straight women could get dick at the drop of a hat, I would. I've paid for a male sex. Well, I've gotten a male sex worker. Somebody else paid for it.
He was on the show.
Oh, right. Well, that was another one. That was actually, so it was technically 2 male sex workers I paid for.
Oh, whoa.
One was just like a straight up like sex worker, like there to have sex. The other
Did
one
you
was a
feel
porn
like
star.
that was like very transactional when you did it, or was it feel like a connective experience?
No, it wasn't connective at all. It was transactional, but I loved that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, when gay guys talk about Grindr, I'm like, that sounds so fun. I wish there was a safe version for that for straight women.
I talk about this all the time, but it's like, yeah, it just will never
It's just
happen.
not.
I always say,
Well, I mean, you can make it safe by getting blackout drunk, and then everything feels safe. I was thinking about how I used to live when I was in my 20s, and I go, yeah, I just did whatever the fuck I want. Because, you know, when you're blackout, you don't have any inhibitions. And I made it. You know, it was a gamble.
Well, that's the other thing is like, I'm 6'5", so it's like people are like, aren't you scared? I go like, no, I'm still a man. I would like love to see him try to kill me. You know what I mean? Like I could
Who's
fight him
gonna
off.
kidnap you?
Yeah, no one.
You just get an erection.
I'm like, guy, he's like dragging me. I go, oh, I guess someone's skinny.
Or you could do that thing where you hold your palm up against their forehead while they're trying to punch you and just do that until they get tired.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it is so transactional, but it is like so fucking hot.
I love transactional sex, and I don't think women have. We just don't have the opportunity to have it.
It is great, but it's like after a while, you kind of go like. I remember when I was, you know, the owner and operator of the Suck Shack. I would like just have guys come over, and I would just suck them off, and they would leave, and then eventually I was kind of like, I don't think I've been kissed in 7 months.
As a man's asshole's in your mouth, you're like, you know what? It's been a while since
I actually
been on these
won't
lips.
eat guys' asses.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, well, like strangers. Listen, I have boundaries.
Yeah.
I'll suck
I wouldn't do
their
that with a
dicks.
stranger either. I don't even know if I'll suck stranger's dick's fine because it's.
I've
weird.
actually like evolved because I really don't have like penetrative sex very often. Just because like I feel like I need to have a connection to do that, and I like. You know, it's just also so much work to have anal sex. Like I think that people think it's like that. I'm actually like scaled down so far that I'm now just like jerking off with guys. I'm like constantly looking for like jerk off buddies. It's like a whole different
Going back to Corinne's point, being blackout drunk, no prep for anal.
Yeah.
You just do it.
Woo!
Yeah.
I hate that. It is. It's too
The
much.
only times I've had anal
I don't know
was
if
when
I
was
hate it.
She's a lady. Right?
Well, and also I had like the gayest like sex drawer because I had all these like free things of lube from hanging out at gay clubs nonstop, and they would just have them at the door. So
Rainbow
I was like,
condoms.
here, let me get my G lounge and some door open. Sick.
I have the opposite problem now because I'm talking about women so much on the internet. I keep getting sent like women's sex toys and like they, you know, like as like brands and stuff. I'm not even like promoting them. They're just like, oh, we want to send this to Dylan.
Yeah,
like,
we have a ton. They're free if you want any. But
no, I'm giving. I live with a lesbian couple. I go like, have fun. Like I just give them like body oil for like her pleasure. I'm like, enjoy it.
Nice.
Yeah, but it's just not for me.
So when you were a sex addict at Suck Shack,
Yeah.
was it fun?
It was so much fun.
Sounds
It was
fun.
great. I had regulars.
That's fun.
Wow.
Yeah, and they
So
would
you could like do more familiar things the more you see them.
yeah, and they would just come in, unzip their pants, and like fucking and just like
So primal.
It really is, and it was like I really am like not. I really had like a year and a half of like loving sucking cock, and I still do like it.
Yeah.
But it's like it was just so hot to like have these like guys in like business suits come up and like undo their pants. It's like I'm walking around New York, it's like guys are in business suits. Like, oh my god, this is crazy.
With a wife
So a lot
at
of these
home.
are like straight guys,
Yeah.
right?
That's
yeah.
very fun.
yeah, which like I now
And they're
look
like,
back,
I'm not gay. I'm just having my cock sucked.
that to me like is a huge. I think is so hot, and
And it's hot for
I've
both
heard
of you guys.
Talk about this a little bit, but
Yeah.
I think we all know this is true. You know me. I think everyone's gay, but
Yeah.
so like, what is the interaction like beforehand? How much information are you getting? First names?
No.
Not even first names.
Nope.
That's what I was wondering.
no first names, nothing, and then they just like pull their dicks out, and you just fucking suck
And
it.
like no conversation.
Some maybe get on your knees.
Now, do you think? I was wondering in my head: is there a possibility that these straight guys that have you suck their dick are actually straight? And I do think yes, because I have a couple guy friends that are legit bi, and they would have the dating apps for both men and women. And one of my friends was like so frustrated. Women need to get to know you. And he's like, why can't I have transactional sex with a woman? And I was,
Yeah.
and he got it. But I'm like, maybe those straight guys, like they just want the experience of transactional sex. And a woman's not going to get it to them.
I love what a sweet thought that was. There's no way if you're walking into a strange man's apartment and whipping your cock out, I'm not giving you 100% straight. There's no
Maybe
way.
like 99.
No.
I will say I didn't want to be a guy's first time sucking his cock.
Why?
Because I don't know, I have like a weird thing
So
about
wait,
coming
you're
off
not like, you don't know his first name, but you know whether or not it's the first time he got his cock sucked? Like, what's going on?
She picky.
well, you're talking in Grindr or whatever, so they'll tell you kind of like, there was one guy who I sucked his dick, and it was the first time he had ever gotten his dick sucked by a guy, and it was very, very hot, but at the same, there's just an idea, I think I have like a fear of being like a creepy gay guy, so it's like I would never offer a straight guy that like I'm friends with or like in the vicinity, I would never be like, I would suck your cock, that like I would never do that.
Well,
yeah,
but like,
don't do that.
Yeah.
You want trust in
God,
your
do I wish
friendships.
it would happen? You know what I mean? Because they're they have to ask you. Unfortunately, it's like the Sadie Hawkins dance. But
Lame.
but guys who are on Grindr promoting themselves as straight, I think to me it's like role play, and like
Sure.
it's like and also I always say that like what you're looking for on Grindr isn't what you're like necessarily like loving sexually. It's like your porn preferences.
Okay.
right.
So it's like I could meet someone on the street and be like, who's like super feminine and super gay and be like so fucking attracted to them. But when I'm on Grindr, my like porn brain turns on, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to be this like sub cocksucker to this like
Sure.
mask guy, to the point where I make them send me voice memos. Because sometimes guys will
Love
be
voice
like,
memos.
me too, but they'll be like, I'm straight, and then they send you a voice memo and they're like, yeah, I'm gonna come over there and suck your cock. I go, oh. Doesn't sound straight. Like if you're gonna say you're straight, be straight.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
One
we're the
of my
role.
favorite things about your comedy is the prevalence of homophobia.
But is it homophobia? It's like
I don't. Yeah, this is your department. You do it. You can run rogue.
Well, you've
pride. I
experienced
can't-
your community, and every community has
I'm broken.
people in them that, like a chunk of people that, oh, you can't stand, and then every community has a chunk of people that you're like, oh, you guys are the pillars of my community. So it's that.
I also have a theory about why I'm attracted to it, which is like it's the same thing as like food and keeping people away. It's like these guys are unavailable to me.
Okay.
I don't have to be vulnerable with them, and I never have to be worried that we could possibly get into a relationship. This
Yeah.
is like so transactional that like nothing will ever come. It's like almost like more safe to me.
yeah.
Because I know nothing.
Distance.
It's distance, and then also my brain is fucked because I was in a small town until I was 23, where all my friends were women, and I started doing comedy at 21. So I've only been friends with like my girlfriends from high school and then comics my entire life. And when you're doing comedy every single night, I wasn't going to the gay bars. I wasn't hanging out with gay people. I was with fucking straight male comics who, like, as you guys talk about, broke my brain and really disappoint me all the time about like, that's like part of my body stuff too, where I'm like, when you hear, and I've heard you guys talk about it on here, straight male comics talk about what they're looking for in a female body, even with like guys, you're like, oh God, I guess I'm fucking disgusting.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I get so frustrated when you when you see all these like female relationship influencers and they're like, guys, they'll have sex with anything. They don't care what you look like. And then I go out and tell my audiences, guys 100% care what you look like. They're looking at your toe. They're looking at your ingrown hair. And they get so mad at me the way your female audience gets mad at you for talking about weight.
Hey, the truth hurts.
Yeah,
that's
also,
the moral.
It's hard to tell women like, no. Those guys will fuck you.
Right.
They will not date you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And there's such a difference, and I think women don't understand the difference between like, they think like, we had sex, we got somewhere. And I go, yeah, you got off his text message list. Like,
like I talk about this all the time. Like the amount of people that I've hooked up with that I'm like deeply not attracted to is like
really.
It's like damn near constant, you know?
But I love porn. One of my favorite porn categories is like one person's super hot and the other person's super not.
I love that too.
I love that.
I'm the ugly person.
But the power dynamic is like it's so hot to me. Like any type of power dynamic, but with we're in a society where it's like looks matter so much. And so
But we pretend like they don't now. Everyone's like, no, everybody's beautiful. And you're like, okay, well, why am I being treated like shit?
Right.
I mean, there's certainly people that are like,
it's currency.
Yeah, like if they're not conventionally attractive, but their vibe is hot, and you're like, that doesn't apply to you. But like most of the time, hotness matters. I'm nicer to hot people, and I'm a woman. Sometimes
this is so bad. Okay, don't get mad at me. Sometimes I realize when I'm on stage, I'm only talking to the pretty girls.
This is for you.
Well,
is that super bad that I just asked? But then I go talk to some of the other ones.
Well, no, you live in America. You live in a society where, and also you have a phone in your hand, the same phone you watch porn on, the same phone you swipe on, the same phone you try to get dick on.
Yeah, and also you know what is crazy? I also do love ugly guys. I think there's something so hot about like a ripped ugly guy. It's like probably my favorite flavor.
A ripped ugly guy.
Interesting.
Yeah,
but I like an ugly guy too. Honestly,
I don't like ugly. I could do like
a good personality.
really dorky or like frail, that kind of thing.
I guess when I say ugly, I mean like I don't know, like Eastern European. Like Djokovic, you know. Like.
Oh my God. So I was going to ask you, like, what's it like in these first months of being famous, like your relationship with your audience? Do you feel like they're actually listening to you do stand up, or they just like do it, or like heckling, like, if I was a girl, do the thing?
I cannot believe how lucky I am. They listen. At first, the first couple of weekends, I was like very, very nervous.
Yeah.
And because I was like, are they gonna like my stand up? But the videos are so sexual, and I do the videos. I try to do it like stand up, which is just like say as many funny punchlines as you can until they get used to the stand up kind of version of it.
Exactly.
But they love me so much. It's like genuinely an honor. I cannot believe how incredible they are, and they're like such cool girls that come to the show, and they like wait afterwards, and they're so. I would say like it has happened where they're like, do if I was a girl. And I have over an hour of material. I don't want to do the if I was a girl stuff. Yeah. I did actually just start doing them last night, a live version of it, because I want to film it, and I know that if I film that and start putting it online, the shows will like fucking sell out.
Yeah.
So I'm doing like an interactive thing, which is like still 5 minutes, and where I bring a girl on stage, and we do like a Mad Libs version of if I was a girl with her crazy answers.
That's a really smart idea.
That's cute,
though.
And so I do the fun like sentences and stuff like that, and then like it's her name and like what is she, and I do a pre-interview and stuff. It takes like 5 minutes.
And that's your finale?
No, so this is what's great. I still wanted to do my closing joke.
Oh.
So after I said thank you so much, and then I do like a thank you guys so much for like you guys are giving me a career. I really appreciated this little speech. And I go, I have one more joke for you if that's okay. And they are fucking there until the end. It's like genuinely incredible.
Nice.
I was nervous because I've seen so many comics blow up and then they hate their audience.
Yeah.
No, they are like the
it's such an honor.
Girls. It really is.
That also says something about you. Like that's what when we meet our fans, I'm like, fuck, man, we're doing something right.
Yeah.
Because
I
the
messaged
quality
Corinne.
of person is just
What'd
like.
you say?
I messaged you because I was like, I'm training them. I was like, I heard you guys talk about how you do to train your fans.
Yeah.
I did have to train them a little bit.
That's why I was so curious to hear, because I've been really enjoying looking at the fan photos from after all your shows, and I'm like, I can't wait to ask you, like, how's it going?
It's really good. The first couple of ones were like very talkative. Like a lot of these girls have never been to a comedy show before.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
the thing, yeah.
And so it's not that
gotta
they
let 'em
are
know.
trying to be disrespectful.
Yeah.
And you know what I've noticed is if they're talking through the feature set and the host goes up and says like, hey guys, just like make sure, they stop talking. They listen. Girls
Yeah.
like are great like that. You know what I
Right.
mean? And then sometimes I have to, snap at them. And and they, I've been doing comedy for 10 years, so they get it,
Right.
and it's like very fun. But like every girl I've had to yell at a show stays in line for a picture afterwards.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
it's like,
Yep.
You haven't made anyone cry yet?
no. Have you guys made yours cry?
Oh,
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
on,
me
like,
too.
Not on purpose.
Yeah.
I've been said like it's interesting because it's always like someone who I think like wanted to cry but just like didn't find the space or the time before the show to do
It's like when you play a
Right,
certain
right.
song.
because it wasn't even people that I was like mean to. Like it's a disservice to yourself as a comic to be really mean during a show, even if
Yes.
someone
100%.
quote unquote deserves it, because you're going to throw off the entire energy of the audience and you're going to have to do the work to get that back. So
Yeah.
it's not worthwhile. I mean, like I've been mean to a man, but everyone that's celebrated. So.
100.
Yeah.
Also, it's hard with women to
Yeah.
be mean to them when
Well-
they're looking at you with love in their
Yeah.
eyes. To be like,
Yeah.
shut the fuck up.
That's why
Yeah.
I try to like, what's the intention? Like, are you here to be an asshole or are you accidentally being an asshole?
It's always accidental.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to like work on that. But they really are. I can't believe how great they are.
Yeah, that's great.
It's really great. But then I go on my podcast and just like, and it's funny because one girl, she yelled throughout the whole show, but like positive yells or whatever.
Yeah,
And after the show,
positive
she
heckling, yeah.
came up to me afterwards and she goes, "I'm humiliated." She goes, "I brought all of my friends. I made them all listen to the podcast where you explain stand-up comedy etiquette, and then I saw you and I lost my mind." And I was I
that's
can't be mad at
sweet.
you. I can't be mad at you. I get it. But yeah,
That's
it's very
so
sweet.
funny.
I can't believe it.
You one of the bullet points were very intriguing to me that you sent over to Corinne, that the only guy you've dated was your straight male best friend.
Yeah. So that was like, this is one of those situations where like I'm very woo woo and
Girlsland.
yeah. And I like, this is like a situation where it was like, I always like believed in all that kind of stuff, but I was like, oh, past lives are real.
Yeah.
Because I was like 23 and I like moved to Portland. And like, that's what I mean. I was like, I met so many things in Portland that happened that it was like, I don't know what called me there, but I like got
You knew you
there.
had to go, yeah.
And I remember I like walked into a bar and like I still, if I picture it, can picture him at the bar the first time I ever saw him. And I just like went right up to him and was like, "Hey, how are you?" I was like, which I'm never like that with men. And we just like immediately clicked and became like best friends and hung out like every single
Wow.
day. Yeah. And it was like, and we would even say just as friends, like, it feels like we are like picking up right where we left off. And we
Like
had never
soulmate
even
friends.
met. It was like very soulmate. And we would like, it was like crazy because we'd be like staring into each other's eyes, being like, we're just friends. And this
Yeah.
is crazy.
And it feels great, yeah.
And it feels great. And I really tried to like hold, and then after a while I was like, I think I'm in love with him, But then I was like, don't say it, keep that in. Don't be creepy.
Push it
Don't be the
down.
creepy gay guy in love with his friend. And eventually I was like, I just have to say it because I was talking about it with like every single person that would listen.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm not gay. I wish I was. Like, you are
Aw.
like the love of my, but like not
Wow.
in a gay way.
Yeah.
And then I kind of like distanced myself from him. And
For
then,
safety.
Just to
Emotional
like,
safety, meaning?
yeah. Oh, and like the night I told him I had a crush on him or I had feelings for him, he was like, don't go home, sleep here. You know what I mean? It was like,
Oh, wow.
we were like inseparable.
Wow.
And then I remember actually on my 25th birthday, we took acid. Great way to just find out if someone likes you.
Yeah.
And I remember we had like the craziest day and we like went and did all this crazy stuff. We like ended at a drag show. And then afterwards, of course, we've been on acid all day and we're both like mentally ill. So he's having a breakdown crying, being like, say it again to me. And he's like, I need you to say it again to me. And I remember like, this is our whole push and pull dynamic of like when one person's ready, the other person wasn't. At that point, I was like resentful that he would even ask me to do that on my birthday. That I was like, because I was like, you just want attention. You just want to hear that somebody loves you.
Right.
And so I remember looking him in the eyes and being like, no, I will not say it to you again.
Yeah.
And then like, back and forth. And then we were like gonna go on a camping trip. like 7 hours away in Oregon with all of our friends. I used to do these comedy drug camp trips where we would like, it was incredible. And we would like all take acid and like, it was the fucking best. And we like went on this camping trip, and the night before the camping trip, we like met up and had this long talk where it was like, I was like, I can't be friends with you right now. I'm in love with you. You're not. And he was like, I'm not like not hanging out with you. He's like, I have to be around you. And you know what I mean? And I was like, and he had like a girlfriend, and then they broke up and all this stuff, you know? And so then we went on this camping trip, and it was like awkward, but then also it's like fine. And we did acid. And like once everybody else went to bed after that night, he was like, I do have feelings for you. And I was like, and then we kissed, and then we like kind of dated, but we were really just like make out boyfriends. And
That's fun too, though.
But it was fun. But then I had this thing where it was like, you know, I have issues with being vulnerable and like dating, and then he is whatever the fuck his sexuality is.
Yeah.
But like we didn't.
My
really
sexuality
have
is
sex.
attention.
Yeah. Well, not even that, but like I don't think neither one of us had a boyfriend before. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it was like this thing where it like destroyed my life mentally. I'm like talking about it very casually. I mean, like I was like a shell of a person because of this. Because then he was like, let's be open so I can fuck women, and we're not gonna have sex, but we do have the labels of dating each other. And so then we're like making out all the time, but like nothing else, because like he can't get hard because he's whatever, it's happening. And so then I'm like, is it because I'm fat? Like it's like a whole thing.
Yeah.
And so eventually I was like, well, what would Corinne and Krystyna say? I literally remember being on the bus being like, what? And I just heard it in my voice.
Is this serving you?
Break
No.
up with him.
Yep.
And I broke up with him at the food courts. And
That's a good place to do it.
yeah, and then the next year was like a humiliating experience of like getting blackout drunk and being like, we had not speaking. And then one night he was like, I was like in the neighborhood because I was walking towards his apartment.
Just wanted to see if his windows were open.
Yourself there.
And I was like, we should smoke a cigarette together.
Oh.
And I was hammered. And I like showed up at his place, and this is so humiliating.
Happy to see you. Was he
Yeah,
happy?
but I did a big movie moment of like, I'm in love with you, like this humiliating thing. You know, when you think in your mind, you're like,
This is gonna be great.
I've seen this on film.
Never works out that way.
You know, it's crazy. He brought me into, he was like, let's talk about this. And then once I got into his apartment, he realized how drunk I was, because I'm like a raging alcoholic. And he was like, get the fuck out of my apartment. He was like, you're so
that?
drunk. I can't believe you're doing this drunk. And he was like, get out. Yeah. And I was like, okay.
Sorry, fun police.
And then it was like a whole thing of like, I was like, I got it. But then we became friends again. And
Wow.
then we'd like make out. But then it was like, whatever. And then
Now he's married.
now he
Is
has
he?
a girlfriend. I just got lunch with him and his girlfriend when I was in Portland headlining.
Serious?
You did?
We drove across the country when I left Portland together. He
Wow.
like drove with me.
So I think this is it, though. I think you definitely were like something in a past life, whether he was your dad or he was your daughter or you were brothers.
Actually,
or
a psychic told me I was a witch, and he ratted me out and got me burned at the stake. And I go, that sounds just about right.
Wow.
I also have been told that I was a witch in every single one of my past lives, and I'm not
Every single one.
Yeah, and I'm not actively in this life due to bad behavior in my last.
Ooh, you bad
and I was
boy.
like, I get that.
So wait, your punishment for being a bad witch is being a stand-up comedian?
Yeah, well, I still
sounds pretty- and
I
being a
still do
famous
have
person?
witch in me. I really do believe that.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Never
she was like,
leaves
she was like, you can access it, but it's not going to be like the main thing of your life, which
Yeah,
actually does
yeah.
make sense to me. Because even as a kid, my family was like, we're Catholic, and at like 7, I was like,
No, we're not.
I'm a witch.
You're a Catholic.
Yeah, I was like, I was like always at my Catholic grandmother's house, being like, when is she bringing down the grimoire?
Eddie, I love it.
Yeah, but like, it was very tumultuous. And I also had this whole thing of like, I could never tell if he actually had feelings for me, because he had like pretty severe depression, or if he was like so afraid of like losing me as a friend that he said yes to dating
That he would
me.
be a little gay.
Yeah, I mean, I think also
Yeah.
the gay, but it's, I
You were
talk about
such a
this.
good friend. He'd be a little gay for you.
That's
yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
I
It's
think
nice.
we really
It's a high
were
compliment.
really connected. And so
Yeah.
that's, I think, what.
Well, sometimes when you're really connected with someone, even if they're like not the sex that you would normally be attracted to, there is something like sexual
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
Well, I think what happens is I think the past life thing is totally dead on, because basically when you meet somebody that you've been in a past life with before, it is, to my understanding, that your heart opens, much like falling in love. So why wouldn't you want more of that, right? And so you go, well, I guess we need to date, but that's not really the heart of the bond. It's just a connection.
And he's lovely, and I actually, every time I go back to Portland, I was just there last month, and I got lunch with him and his girlfriend, and they're great. She's great. I don't have those feelings for him anymore. But like even when I see him, I'm just like, yeah, of course, it's him. You know what I mean? Like it's
Does
not.
the girlfriend know the extent of your
But
See, if I was his girlfriend, I'd be like, I love that layer.
from his vantage
I would
point.
love that layer.
Yeah, and I don't know how.
What he said
Yes.
to her.
Yeah.
Sure.
He straightened it up a little.
I think he
did.
probably did. But wait, it's not like it was that gay. That was part of the problem.
Right.
It's like and I was like, I didn't want to be pushy with the sex stuff because I was like, listen, I want to be. I have a big fear of being like a creepy gay guy. So I'm always just like,
where does that come from? You've mentioned it a couple times. That's
I
interesting.
know. I think it's from like being the only gay kid and having these sexual desires towards men, but it felt like I was the only one having them.
Right.
And so it was kind of like.
And if you're the only gay kid, I imagine like the straight kids in your school, the ones that were dicks, are like, don't look at my ass. Or that
I mean, I wasn't
bullshit.
out in high school, but it was like
Okay.
everybody knew I was gay, but it was like. Yeah, I mean, I'm from small town Massachusetts. It was like the worst thing you could be was gay. You know what I mean? In 2008. So
Yeah.
it's like just
So
how
gay.
it was. Yeah. But now it's kind of all over. But I'm just working on that, I guess.
Nice.
So I was going through the rest of the points.
I guess my story is pretty fucking boring to Corinne.
No, I
No, we
I
want
told
to
you
make
what
sure
I
we get
was
to the things we
doing.
want
I know.
Because I knew that you were going to see me and think that I was doing. I was reading a text from you to make sure we got to all the points. Well, wait. So have you ever been to therapy?
I went to therapy when I first.
This is not from the list. Tricked ya. Boom. Tricked ya.
I went to therapy when I was 400 pounds. And he even was like, let's not meet at my office. He goes, let's meet at a hiking trail. And we used to go hiking.
Jesus Christ.
And we went hiking at the
That's fucking rude.
And then, yeah.
I mean, I know he has your best interest at heart, but he didn't even know you.
We can't waste this hour.
yeah. But you know what? I really
I went to
appreciated
therapy.
him because he was like, no bullshit. I really appreciated him.
My therapist is really, really nice to me, and I think it actually works because no one else is. But normally I don't I need a tougher approach. I think is better for me.
I do better with that, but I need to probably go.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, because I mean, I don't know you super well, but you kind of passed over the part where your sister passed away when you were 13,
Yeah.
and I'm just
And
sitting
you're
here,
woo-woo.
and I'm just sitting here and listening to a lot of your things, and I don't have experience with grief in that way, but I have a lot of experience with grief, and it just seems like that's to not have talked about. Is this something you even talk about?
No, a little bit more now.
Right.
But in my family, it was like my sister died, and then it was like not something we were able to really talk about.
Is it your younger sister or older sister?
So she was younger. She's my youngest. So she was 5. I was 13.
Okay.
And also, I always forget to mention this part.
She was 5 when she died?
Yeah.
Holy
so
shit.
she had cortical dysplasia,
Okay.
which is basically a hot spot in your brain. So she had I always forget to mention. I'm always in my mind, the story is my sister died. The truth of the story is she was sick her entire life. My mom was constantly living at Boston Children's Hospital with
Okay.
her.
Oh,
wow.
So I also look back and being like, oh yeah, I also was someone who grew up with a sick sibling who then died. And so
Right.
it's a whole other, so from 8 to 13, I had a sick sibling, and then she died when I was 13.
And your mom or your parents are
Devastated, I imagine.
as much as I'm sure they try to parent all the kids, they're gonna have to give
can't.
more parenting time to the sick child because you just have to.
And also, they were going through a absolutely brutal, no filter divorce throughout
my-
all of this.
now
Christ, that's a lot.
Was that something I know often when there's a death of a child or even a sick child that really ups the rate of divorce. Did it have anything to do with that?
No,
or
they were just
toxic
toxic their whole
the whole
time.
time. Okay.
Yeah. Very, very toxic. And then when they were getting divorced, it was even more toxic, where it was very small town. Everybody in town knew exactly why they were getting divorced.
Oh my God.
Everybody was talking shit about
fuck?
everybody. It was very, very
Ew.
traumatic, you know?
Yeah.
Like my dad, like I was joking the other day being like, you guys ever see your dad in like fist fights? Like we would just see like my mom's new boyfriend with like 2 black eyes. He'd be like, your dad beat the shit out of me again. You know, like that's like, it was just like that type of situation.
You've had on the adverse childhood experiences like scale, you already checked like 7 boxes.
Yeah.
I also your score would be high.
I hate to like keep being like, and then this, but then like.
I mean, it happened.
Then 3 months after my sister died, my close friend killed herself in 8th grade. And
okay, so that's a lot.
Yeah,
that's a fucking
and so
lot.
then all of a sudden, I always joke that like my sister died and then I didn't say her name for 10 years and I woke up and I was 400 pounds because that's kind of what happened. Because
I was like, this all makes. I was like, because you kind of don't just become 400 pounds.
No,
like
trauma.
There has to be something that leads there. So when you said that, I go, oh, this all makes sense now.
Yeah, and like my mom obviously just lost her daughter, who she was like constantly taking care of, and it's so funny because I always think like, as much as I love my parents, but it's like you have 2 different versions of them. You have like the version of who they were before they lost the child, and then like afterwards.
I can't imagine. Yeah,
it's like it's a completely different.
It's a different
person.
parent.
And
that's got to be the most tragic loss apparently.
Of course, and
Jesus.
it's unspeakable, but like my mom was like obviously having such a hard time. She just lost her daughter, but it was like almost like she lost her daughter and we had to figure out how to get our shit together. Like it wasn't like we almost no time to grieve because it was like my mom was in like a crisis state.
Yeah.
So
you got to be there for her?
Yeah.
Fuck, that's tough.
It is, but also like she had to be there for herself too. Like she had to like get, she like went from like being a parent of a sick kid to like, and my mom's actually incredible. She like, as to all the things that happened or whatever, she like started after my sister died, like managing the small Ann Taylor at in our small town and became the manager. And she's now the manager of the Gap in Times Square. So it's kind of like,
are you serious?
Yes. So she's
That's
like
amazing.
She like a full on upward thing, but she, we were not able to grieve my sister, and I think that's actually when my friend committed suicide when we were in 8th grade. I was able to grieve her so much because it was like mine to grieve.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is weird grieving a loss in a family because there's almost like you almost have to figure out like the hierarchy of who should be grieving the most and then like who you should be supporting.
Right.
And like you even if you're thinking about it, maybe the other family members don't want to constantly think about it. So maybe you don't want to keep bringing it up.
And this is like small town Irish Italian. Where, like,
Right.
you just don't talk about things. So it was
Yeah.
like, you just move on. And like that, you shove it down, you move on. And me and my siblings, I always say like, your siblings can either come together after something like this. We all went like separately to like our friend groups. And like, I got like 2 jobs when I was like 14. It was just like trying to make money.
Yeah. Get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
So I know your other sister, and then do you have another sibling?
Yeah, I have a brother who's a year older than me. We're Irish twins.
Okay.
And he's great. He has 2 kids. I'm going to stay with him. We had like no good relationship whatsoever until he had kids. Mm-hmm. And then he was like, oh my God, you're my brother. I love you.
Yeah.
And now every time I go back home, they're like, you have to stay with us. And I get to hang out with my nephews, which is like a very beautifully and healing. And it's like my sibling relationship now is like really beautiful.
Wow.
And my sister lives here in New York City.
Yeah.
Because you're woo-woo and your sister passed so long ago, have you heard from her? Did you hear like talk
Funny,
to her in a dream?
I've every time I've ever asked, they go, she moved on really quickly. Like she came here. My sister, like who passed away. It's funny. It's so funny
She's
when
like
someone
already
dies.
reincarnated.
What is her name?
Sarah. Yeah, it's
Sarah?
so funny. You can always tell when people have lost someone because they always ask the name because no one ever asks the name, and you almost never get to talk about them. Very like sick kid, but like everybody met her, loved her.
Mm-hmm.
Like she was like this huge personality. But yeah.
Fuck. But
She
you
was, like-
did hear from her after she passed? Oh, you haven't?
No. Every psych I've ever gone to was like, she moved on quickly.
Like her soul moved on.
Yeah, that's
she accomplished what she needed to accomplish in this lifetime.
I've heard Laura Lynn Jackson say that about kids that die, that are born and they have cancer and they die, or like stillborns even. Like they like their mission. They wanted to come in. They wanted to leave the body of their mother and then just peace out right away and do another thing.
and-
Like, well, that's tough.
Yeah.
Not for us, not for them, I guess.
Oh yeah, I think once you die, you're like everyth's fine.
Yeah,
but because you
seems
like
so.
probably get it. But like, yeah, no, I mean, like I was very much like a big part of my sister's life. Like it was like we were very close, and I would like go up to Boston. I would like leave school early every Friday to drive up to Boston to go see my sister and my mom every Friday, and like all this stuff. And yeah, it was definitely very hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, she apparently is reincarnated. I was like, don't tell my mom; she'll be pissed. I wouldn't get that, you know?
Yeah, that would be annoying.
So do you feel like there was like if you had to assess what the purpose was in the living people that she like affected lives, did you figure out a purpose for all that pain that your family went through or not?
You know what? I've actually never thought about it like that.
question.
And I feel it's just like not, no, because I don't think that if whatever she was here to do with everybody, nobody has figured it out yet, and nor have they tried. I've never heard my father say her name again. The only time my grandparents would talk about her was like my grandmother has like slideshows on her computer, and like, and it would be like, and then all of a sudden it's like a slideshow of like, I'm like, why were you guys taking pictures of her at her wake? Like, so it's like her dead
Jesus.
on the slideshow. I'm like, what
That
is
always
it?
freaks me out when people take picture of corpses.
I know, and it's like so. I'm like, why have this on the slideshow? You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
right.
it's just, but she didn't choose it. She just doesn't know how to use a computer, and like whatever's on the computer is just going to show up on the screen.
Right.
Yeah, but we just don't talk about
Well,
anything.
I think there's something like anybody that goes through trauma early in life. I had shit happen like kind of earlier in life for like teens and 20s, and I'm like that prepared me for the world. So
Oh my God.
I'm very thankful that I went through some tough shit at the beginning because I'm like I already knew shit sucked.
Same. I mean,
for a long time.
honestly, I feel like now because of everything I've gone through, it's like there's nothing somebody can tell me that I'm not gonna. Even honestly, listen to this show for so long, it's like no one can tell me something that's gonna shock me.
Yeah.
I feel like I totally get it. I think also doing comedy is like so beautiful because you're like. Whatever you've gone through, it's like I've heard about 1,000 times and from different people.
Yeah.
So I agree. I think trauma like really helps.
Yeah.
Trauma.
Trauma.
What's for dinner?
Ooh, and we love it.
Trauma and plastic surgery.
But I do actually feel like now that I've gotten sober and like really worked on stuff, I feel like I've been better than I ever have, which is,
That's great.
Yeah.
That's
How long
great
have you
to
been
find.
sober for at this point?
About 3.5 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Was there ever a torturous part of it, like the beginning, or
No,
did you
fucking
actually like it?
drinking was torturous for me.
Drinking was torturous.
I was like
Okay.
wake up in the morning, start drinking.
Oh, okay.
Drunk
Yeah.
drunk at my job at Massage Envy.
Wait, were you giving? I love massage on me. Were you giving massages drunk?
No, I was the
I
manager.
feel like that'd be actually a really good massage.
you were in the
massage
spa
envy.
non-massage part just like me. Wow,
Yeah.
we really are twins.
I was a front desk girl for a while.
Yes,
and then I
my
became
job.
I was the skincare representative there as well.
Nice.
And then I became the assistant manager, and then everybody got fired. And then I became a manager of. I was an awful manager, by the way. I was like drunk every day, and
I
like,
kept dodging. They kept asking me to be manager. I go, absolutely
it
not.
was a huge mistake. I never should have said yes.
It's like a couple $2 more and way more work. I go, I'm going to be the head receptionist forever.
By the way, which by the way, I do want to say because of this podcast, because of Don't Get Fucked by Money, I got a $10,000 raise at Massage Envy. Yeah.
Whoa!
You guys have been here
Know your
throughout my
worth.
whole life.
Know your worth.
Exciting.
But that's what I
Amazing.
mean is when I say like, this podcast means so much to me, it's because like I learned nothing from my parents. I mean, like whatever. I learned some stuff. Don't get
Same.
mad if
Yeah.
I told my mom not to listen to things, but like if she secretly does. So if you're listening to this is your own fault.
Yeah.
But like
True.
there was a lot going on. They didn't have time to teach us. You know what I mean?
Shit, they busy.
yeah,
But like
I get that.
I learned everything from you guys. You know what I mean? Like it genuinely. So that's why I think I like have such a special relationship with the podcast.
That means so much to us.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. This
what
is a great
did you
combo.
What did you say to get that get the raise?
I don't really remember. I think you guys like had someone come on here. There was like steps on how to ask for a raise.
Right, yeah.
And I literally just did those steps.
Did the steps.
And they were like, "What
Simple
about
as that.
$10,000 extra?"
Wow. Okay, I'm so impressed.
Now
By the
we're
way, I
talking.
was also being severely underpaid, and so I think they were like, "Yeah, he caught
figured
on."
it out.
Yeah,
He allowed us to abuse him.
I
for
went
a
from
while,
like
so.
being a store manager from $35,000 a year to $45,000 a year. So it's
At
like
least 45,000 is like livable.
Livable.
35
Yeah.
is like unlivable.
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
100,
yeah.
absolutely,
Shit.
yes.
Yeah. Amazing.
Wow. Oh my God. Well, I'm so happy that you're here. It's hard for things to live up to the expectation,
Yeah.
but
I feel like this
hope
is good.
it did for you.
Oh my
It was
God.
amazing.
Well, it was like more pressure on us because I was like, this got to be the greatest interview of all time.
And
I know you're going to be funny.
And to me, it just had to be a classic episode. It just had to be
Heart,
a classic Guys We
laughter,
Fucked episode.
yeah,
dick
and I think we
sucking.
actually did it. I think we did.
Well, we didn't-
I
you didn't
wish
cry.
I was just about to say.
I know. I was like, let's talk
Wait,
about
I can
his
make
sister's
myself-
death. Stop. What is that? You look like my dog when you want a treat.
No, but genuinely, thank you guys so much.
Thank
I really
you.
appreciate it.
Yeah, our pleasure. I mean, it's so lovely to. Yeah, when people say like you raise me, I'm like that means a lot because we do talk about fuck ups here very openly and how to like come out of them. And it's just nice to know that people like take something from it for their own life.
Not only that, I do want to also say that I don't think people give you guys your flowers enough for this, is that you guys are also always a year ahead of culture. You guys are always talking about...
That's why we're less famous.
No, genuinely.
Honestly, yes.
But I agree with that.
It's exhausting.
Yeah, Alyssa Bennett talks about this concept on the C word. Basically, anyone who's ahead of their time never gets their flowers.
You guys are, whatever people are going to be talking about, you guys are a year ahead of time.
Yeah, right?
Toxic relationships,
trauma.
I mean, like all of that stuff.
Aliens.
Sex trafficking. People were laughing at me. People were calling me crazy. I said, it's fucking happening everywhere. And now everyone knows it.
And you guys give advice to, it's so funny, I quote you guys on my new podcast all the time because it's an advice podcast. And I'm like, well, I have to say where I heard this from, but otherwise it's stealing. But the way you guys give, and I'm not going to be, listen.
We quote
you think
Dan
I
Savage
can
a lot.
start a caller daddy? I could, okay.
Call me that.
But you would have us on.
Of course. But you guys give advice so real and tell them exactly how it is. And you don't do that thing that so many other people are doing, like, no, girl, you deserve this. You're like, no, you stupid bitch. It's your fucking fault that you're acting like this and you're crazy. Yeah. And I think more people need to start being honest like that. And I think a lot of people can't handle it, but I really appreciate it because it makes me be like, Dylan, in every situation, I'm like, what is your responsibility in this? Yeah. And it's really helped me because it's like all you can control is your responsibility. And I think it's something that's talked about in this podcast all the time. And I think you guys are incredible.
Thank you, Dylan. That means a lot.
And thank you for doing the Lord's work. There's a clip went viral of Dylan talking about something that we've talked about on the show. There was a period of time when I was like, my feelings were genuinely hurt by like gay men, basically.
Oh yeah.
When Roe v. Wade was overturned,
right.
And gay men I just had felt like. Not just me personally, but straight women in general really showed up for decades for the gay community to help them get rights. Yeah. And I just said, wow, you got your rights, you got marriage equality, all this stuff, and now our rights are being taken away, and you're like, singing to Ariana Grande and Lady Gaga at the club, and I was like genuinely hurt. And Dylan talked about that on his podcast, and it like went viral. Yeah. And I really just appreciate you doing that. I do want to say I did not think that way, and I did not think that gay men were like that until I heard you talk about it. I heard you guys, I remember where I was when I heard this. I was in San Diego listening to your podcast, trying to get out from my alcoholic friend. And I needed a break. And so I was listening to your podcast and you guys were talking about, I think, Krystyna, you said like, I would go to a male gynecologist, and Corinne, you were like, I wouldn't. It's like gay men are still men. Yeah. And I was like, that's so interesting. And I heard you talk about this a little bit more. And at first I was like, that's not true. And then I was like, well, wait, Dylan, like I believe everything you guys say. So like when you don't know, by the way, I know whenever you guys are like, don't believe everything. If you don't think for yourself, if you agree with everything, I don't think for myself. Whatever they say, I agree with. It's whatever they say, whatever Elizabeth Gilbert from Eat, Pray, Love said. That's who I fucking believe. Okay, who just started following me. And so
oh my God,
I know,
congratulations.
I want her on this podcast really bad.
Yeah,
okay,
book her. Ask her to do it. Please.
But I heard you talk about this, and I really was like, I'm going to evaluate and really think about it, because I think my brain was tricked because I think gay men, a lot of us, are friends with women growing up because that's who our safe space is. Yeah. They get into their 20s and they get all gay friends and they kind of drop all their female friends. Mm-hmm. I didn't have that experience because I went right into comedy. And so I just went from like women friends, staying friends with those women, and then like female comic friends. Mm-hmm. So it's just been like women the entire time. And I think because I never had that gay male friendship, I just assumed we all were like constantly being like, especially listening to this podcast, I was like, well, reproductive rights is like a huge thing for me because like one, there are so many of my friends I don't want to have kids because it's like, whatever. If you don't want to have kids, you shouldn't have to have kids. And I just believe that. And then I realized, I looked around and I really investigated what gay men were talking about. And I realized you were like so right. I never hear gay men speak about women's issues. And it broke my heart. Like, Jenny, I feel like even now I'm getting a little emotional being like,
cry.
Well, because they have the time to be like, Lana Del Rey got fat, but they don't have the time to
say Lana Del Rey should have the right to have
I almost cried. Thank you for making me laugh. I genuinely, no, but it breaks my heart because even now, I would not have a career without women. Mm-hmm. Women, and it's so beautiful, this whole like switch I've kind of had being like, women are the thing that like gets me through life, and the thought that like gay men don't. And I had a lot of gay men commenting, being like, "It's so funny. They're just like men." They're like, I forget. And they're like, "I don't know what you're talking about. Gay men support." I go, "I'm not saying you don't think women should be allowed to have abortions. I'm saying you don't speak about it.
You don't
show
up
up
at the protest,
and you're not like there for just them when it doesn't serve you." And that broke my heart, because I was like, "Oh my God!" It's just like, I cannot believe so many of us, and even me. For a while, I was like, I don't talk about it online. You know what I mean? And when I saw how viral it went, I was like, wow. And all these women were like, "Thank you." I was like, damn, you guys really accept the bare minimum. But
we do.
But I genuinely, I was like,
doesn't hit me. Yay.
Oh my God. But yeah, it broke my heart too. And I talk about it on my podcast all the time now.
Thank you.
Awesome.
And it's because of you guys.
Thank you. Well, listen, for my whole life, all I ever wanted to do was be famous. And then I got a little taste of it, and I was like, how about someone who really likes us gets really famous?
Good plan.
And I do feel like we helped manifest this.
Yes.
This is
I
exactly
agree.
what I was looking for. So I hope you get so
Yes,
Thank you.
And please don't forget about us.
Oh my God. As I've said before, you will be thanked in every award I win.
Yay. We don't have children, but we have Dylan.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Genuinely,
good.
congratulations. It's like very exciting to watch. It's one of the positive aspects of the entertainment
Not everybody can be a number one daughter.
No. It's true. So, and what do you want to promote?
Follow me at Dylan P. Carlino. I do videos. And then also my new podcast, Feeling Girly. It's a girly advice podcast where I try to rip you to shreds if you do crazy stuff. You know what? Also, they're bad at writing emails. And you guys are right about that as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, hey, break up
I'm
the
trying
fucking
to get
paragraph.
a flow. I'm not really that bad at reading out loud. You just
check out Feeling Girly and my other podcast. Some of this is bad. It's about gay sex. Love ya.
All right. Thank you so much. You could say it with me. This has been
Guys, we fucked the anti-slut shaming podcast.
We'll talk to you next Friday. Bye.